we'll kick off straight away with the New England Patriots. That being Sky's team, they're picking at number 3. They have 8 picks within the draft. Sky, the team obviously very close to you, the team you support. What positions do you think that they need to improve in?
I think the standout 3 for me is obviously a lot of talk has been between Daniels or May at the quarterback position. But I think that is the obvious one, and that's the thing, luxury of the draft, right? Everyone knows that focus, top 5 picks, you want your franchise quarterback, but we had the 6th fewest sacks in the league last year, so I think getting some pressure up front on that D-line and edge rusher is really important. And also receiving wise, I mean, the Patriots have been really poor in that position, 29th in receiving yards last year. So yeah, QB, wide receiver, and edge rusher are the 3 that I'm hoping we are able to nail this draft as part of the new era with Jerod Mayo and some people in the front office hoping to make their own impact too.
I mean, you said them 3 positions. I mean, you've literally quoted 3 of what is most important positions in the NFL, really. And I mean, it's a new dawn. It's a new day for the New England Patriots as well. It's hopefully not going to be a boring draft that we sometimes expect from the New England Patriots, or maybe trading down and stuff like that. But yeah, them 3 positions, quarterback, the wide receiver, and the edge rusher, I completely agree on as well. I think you're looking all right in the secondary there. The O-line is always seems to be strong in New England. And obviously having that 3rd pick being the first pick in the draft as well. I don't think you have a 34th pick in the 2nd round as well. You also have the 60th pick in the 3rd round, so top of the 1st, top of the 2nd, top of the 3rd. I mean, Andrew, the 3 pick is going to be the focus, and then obviously moving down the board. What direction do you think this New England Patriots team under new stead of Jerod Mayo could do?
Yeah, I think they're a really interesting team. I think they're probably one of the teams that I'm conflicted with slightly. I know me and Adam have had several conversations about this. It's fantastic that we've got Sky on board to kind of put our minds at ease with this as a fan that might have some inside knowledge. But if there's a standout 2 quarterbacks in this draft and they're gone 1 and 2, is there any chance that we see the Patriots not go quarterback? That would be the question that I've got on this. When you talk about their needs, for me, I think their desperate need is a wide receiver. I think that's one of the worst wide receiving cores in the NFL at the moment, of KJ Osborne, Kendrick Bourne, and Demario Douglas looked good last year, didn't he? But again, unproven. I'm saying if you bring a young rookie quarterback into that and you give them nothing, a lot of people are saying, I've heard this, JJ McCarthy's been buzzed around a lot, but he feels a bit like the Mac Jones pick to me. He was on the best team in college that carried him all the way to a final, and he's got limited sort of skill set. He's good at stuff, but he's not great at everything. That sounds a little bit like Mac Jones to me, doesn't it? And I'm now thinking, do the Patriots want to fall into that category again, where they're going, the 2 guys that we wanted, Caleb Williams and maybe Jaden Daniels, are gone. Maybe we go wide receiver, take Marvin Harrison. Sky, what are your thoughts? Do you think they could take Marvin Harrison at that pick? It could automatically make you better.
Yeah, I think when you fall in love with him as soon as you watch him, right? His dad's a top 10 wide receiver all time, but his son seems to be a bigger and faster version of him. So whoever lands him is like a dream pick. I weirdly have gone from thinking we should get Marvin Harrison, and then you have Jacoby Brissett there to start, who's a journeyman but had success in the NFL. But then the wide receiver class is so stacked. I mean, obviously a lot more than me with college, but when I look down at who we could potentially get in the 2nd, and you look at your Mitchells and Coleman, I just think maybe you have to go with quarterback there. And me and Andrew discussed this on the weekend. I feel like I've gone back through Drake May's tape and fallen in love with him again. I think his arm strength is ridiculous. In terms of like the touch and velocity he gets, he seems unfazed by pressure in the pocket. He's probably one of the only quarterbacks in recent years who, when he has that pressure, he still manages to get those elite throws off. He almost seems like a more ready Josh Allen. And I just hope that, considering that Josh Allen's picked us apart for the last few years, that maybe we don't go down that route of I completely agree. It feels like a Matt Jones pick again if you go with JJ McCarthy, because I think everyone's getting into this whole, Tom Brady has his affiliation with Michigan. Let's go with a nice little story there. But I'm hoping it's more smoke and mirrors and we do pick Drake May. But To be honest, to answer your original question, as much as I'm saying that, I think it would be nice to go with the Marvin Harrison route to make a statement and do something different to what we've had with Bill Belichick. I think the worst case scenario is trading back, because then you're just doing the same. So either take your quarterback of the future or do something different, go receiver, and then maybe you can trade back in the later rounds and just get a lot more depth in other positions.
Yeah, I say this because I was listening to Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks earlier today, and they were talking about the hit success rate of wide receivers taken in the top 10 and then wide receivers taken outside of that. And it's virtually over the past sort of 3 years, the top 3 guys that have gone in the draft have all been like hit like elite wide receivers, and it sort of drops off if they're taken in the 20s, and the second round didn't have much on that. So although we like the depth of this class, I've said all along through it, there's 3 guys. There's Brian Thomas, and then there's a lot of wide receiver 2s, and I think you need a wide receiver 1. And looking at your draft picks that you've got, I believe that pick 34 and 103 is enough to move back into the first. Okay. I think if you keep pick 68, the third round, because you're going to need that to address O-line. I think you'll use that for O-line. And I think you could, probably package up pick 34, 103 maybe, or 137, and move back up to the first. Maybe take a quarterback, maybe take a Michael Penix in around that sort of 20 spot.
I like Penix. I would be happy with that. I'd kind of want us to stay away from Bo Nix. He seems to be someone who would just maybe suit a Sean Payton style of head coaching. Penix, I know there's question marks around the injuries, but I think we're seeing a lot of these young players now overcoming injuries at a young age and still going on to have great careers. Even people who've come in the league and maybe been hurt, like your Joe Burrows or your Breece Halls, and then now they're still linchpins of those franchises. So I don't think injuries should scare the Patriots. I think they did not have dinner with Penix, I think we had last night, or it's planned for tonight. And that also caught me by surprise because we didn't really send anyone to go and scout him. I think there was only one guy who went. So maybe now that other teams are giving him attention, it's like, well, actually, let's assess all of our options in case we do decide to go receiver and then look at him later in the draft, like you said.
Which, with the edge rusher position that you also mentioned there, Sky, Andrew, do you not agree that they do need to look at that? And also, it is a position that we've not covered on the Tuesday show, really. Is there good depth? I know there's some players that are sort of mocked to go in that top 15, top 20 that are edge rushers. But is this class got some depth to it, or is it a little bit top heavy?
Yeah, there's definitely some depth to it. I think we've managed to, me and Adam did a top 10 of them. So there's 10 really good quality ones. I think there's maybe sort of the 5 names that everybody kind of knows that'll be possibly round ones, definitely 3 round one guys in there. But there's some guys that didn't do themselves any favors in the combine and things like that. Braylon Trice from Washington, I think, is an absolutely exceptional guy. I think he's going to drop slightly. I think someone's going to get a steal with him there. There's also Jonah Ellis as well from Utah. I think he's going to be a late round steal as well. He's someone that Adam is going to be planting the flag in and putting his name to and saying that's a guy in the late rounds I already know that you can definitely get. Chris Braswell as well from Alabama, an Alabama guy. He's projected to be going around sort of the 50 mark. So, prime position for if he's slightly low, it's not too much of a drop to 68 if he's round there. For the Patriots to address that. And I think if they can get someone like that, it's an instant impact for me. So there's depth all the way down, I think, to the early round 3. That 68 mark is definitely getting a quality edge rusher, I think.